Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the most Terran player out there. In the blue, it's Micro Jackson, ByuN's. Up against his Korean counterpart, one of the most underrated Zerg players out there, the underling, it's SHIN. A best-of-5 Terran versus Zerg Grand Finals. And whether you want ByuN to once again prove that Reapers should be nerfed, or for his opponent to maybe point out how full of SHIN he is. Either way, it'd be awesome if you could smash that like button before we get started. And maybe even subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we at? No, I'm not looking up schizophrenic. 1,415 likes on this video, on this cast. Don't cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get a little bit better than that first drone, which ByuN has already taken down. Well, not an auspicious start for our Zerg player. Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal, Reapers. We all know the Reapers are supposed to get in, be very annoying, say mean words, and maybe exchange a few shots with the Zerglings and poke and prod and throw a grenade at the Queen. But instead, murder! And almost got one, as ByuN greedily jumped up to the most obvious location that's explicitly for the Reapers to be annoying, and still gets away with it because the Reaper grenade lands in time. Because of course it does. He's gonna go for the creep tumor. The oncologist here bounces the Queen yet again, and well, he's gonna get away with it. The Reapers escape back home. The Reaper opener has been... Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we got to finish our first thought. The Reaper opener has been somewhat successful, but SHIN has taken a very different angle on dealing with it. He's double expanded. So he's looking to get as much economy as possible before ByuN can come out with his inevitable marine timing, because obviously it's ByuN. So, and with the 2 Rags Reaper, you've already got multiple barracks on the way. It leads itself directly into that sort of bio play. But this ain't SHIN's first rodeo, not his first time at the theater. And he knows what he's dealing with. So we'll build more queens, and the question is, how does he deal with the inevitable marine pressure? And now, another thing important to point out, ByuN doesn't have a 3rd command center. He's putting everything into this marine follow-up. So he did not scout the extra base that SHIN, it's effectively a macro hatch right now. So now there's more and more queen production, a baneling nest on the way. He's at 46 drones and counting, which is a bit on the greedy side, and he's continuing on it, as well as taking down the rocks, which the Zerglings, it'll take them a while, but they'll get there. And even before the first medevacs are done, ByuN is moving out on the map because he needs to keep the pressure on the Zerg. He knows he didn't delay any of the hatcheries. In fact, he doesn't know how little he knows, and the creep spread is on its way out. So keeping a handle on that, especially before SHIN can have anything but Zerglings and Queens, is going to be a... Oh my god. That Overlord. Thank you, it's lucky StarCrafts, at least for now. Rock's almost taken down. The Queens are gathering. As again... Susan, is it Marines again? It's ByuN, Brenda. Ah, of course. What a bitch. It's Brenda! We're gonna get demonetized! Layer on the way. Overs? Oh, Stims to kill the Overlord. ByuN, bloodthirsty, will be slaked momentarily, and actually supply block SHIN, which is a bit unfortunate at a very key time when he needs to be building as many units as possible. But ByuN, at 6 minutes, SHIN already has 60 SCVs. He's building so many Overlords. Those are some Amnesia Lords right there. Another Overlord goes down. The Overlords you build when you get supply blocked, and then before the Overlords finish, you realize your supply, and you build more. He's now at 121 over 152 and counting. But he shouldn't be supply blocked for a while unless ByuN something goes horribly wrong or incredibly right. +1 is done. Again, ByuN does not have a third command center. He needs to at least kill the fourth here. And reinforcements have arrived. A siege tank. But the rocks have already been taken down and opened up more of the field here. Zerglings like having a lot of space to work with, whereas Terrans, not so much. And the Zerglings trying to close in. The creep spread is starting to recede. He took out the creep tumors at the front. And until Baneling speed is done, you have to be very careful about engaging here. SHIN clearly does not want to go, but he's running out of real estate as the Marines are working their way through. Just a single siege tank, not going to be able to take out too many of the Banelings. Well scattered. Zerglings coming back. The Zerglings looking for the wraparound on the Marines. Looks for the target fire, but so many Marines. Their blood spilled on the field, and the medevacs were actually late on the pickup. ByuN attempted to target fire, but there were just too many of them. And he ends up being thrown back. He does a lot of damage to that hatchery. He's got a third command center on the way back at home. But SHIN maintains his economy, his production. He could probably get another hatch to the north side as well, because it's very likely this fourth base, even with the queens to babysit it here, eventually will go down. But I think at this point, the hatchery, both economically and in terms of production, has paid off. But ByuN looking to put more bills on the table. But Baneling speed is completed. He might not have the upgrades, but the Baneling speed makes it that much harder. Every single Baneling was taken down, though, and the Marines stand their ground, and the siege tanks are still shelling. The queens are off the creep and must stumble back to it. Oh no, the hubris on the Lings and Banes. And even I thought, yes, the paragon of intelligent commentary, I thought, like and subscribe, that the Banelings would be enough. But ByuN, looking be unstoppable there. He had the 1-1 upgrades for the Marines, which means, and this is true, that Zerglings do not do any damage. Metaphorically. They do a lot less damage, and the Marines fire so quickly. Those weapon upgrades scale immensely. So without the Banelings to really take out the critical mass of Bio, well, the rest of the Zerg fall quickly after. And that's why SHIN having these upgrades delayed because of that quick fourth base is now starting to look like less of an ideal move. Banelings breaking through into the natural. Siege tank sieging up. Meanwhile, he's staying within range of the tank. More Zerglings coming in. 1-1 about to complete. These tanks are still in position, and the queens are still getting pounded, but they can take it if anyone can. And the Zerglings are inside the 11, 12 SCVs dead. He might go for this hatchery here, and if he can get it, that might be worth it. But 16 SCVs to kind of a small counterattack, but at such an awkward timing where ByuN just didn't really have the units ready. He's been sending his reinforcements across the map and will do so again. But SHIN doing a great job of keeping him busy. And so far, ByuN, he's in a tough spot economically. What he has going for him, upgrades and map control. SHIN does not have that overwhelming amount of Zerg. He doesn't have the creep spread extending over half the map. In fact, at that fourth base, the queens are getting gunned down yet again. Oh, the Zerganity. And the Banelings can't just roll in like that. That's target practice for the siege tanks trying to get in. Well, ByuN picks up, but the trades. Hydras, Lings, and Banes, but those siege tanks. 13 kills, 20 kills. I think most of them Banelings at this point. Keeps cutting in and out of siege tank range, and SHIN just abandons the base. The queens again. Trying to hold it together. But it's the siege tank in the main. SHIN taking the hits here. Another double drop, and ByuN has drawn the supplies even. And actually widens the gap here. Only 39 SCVs in total, but he has the efficiency. 2-2 done for the Marines. SHIN has re-expanded to a fourth base up to the north side. He has enough drones. He's getting Hydra speed. He's getting +1 ranged attack and +2 carapace. And every moment ByuN isn't actively cutting down his units, oh my, that's a lot of mules. Well, we'll see if that income lead is maintained as the mule recession has begun. Marines are clearing up those extractors. Oh my. So, for at least a short time, ByuN will have enough income to continue his economy and actually outstrip SHIN here. But, is there an infestation pit? No. But there are 2-2 upgrades on the way. SHIN with Hydras is a bit better equipped to deal with these drops. Without it, ByuN just finds those little nooks and crannies to jam his Marines into. It becomes effectively impossible to engage with Zerglings, especially with an upgrade disadvantage. But even if you're comparable, it becomes very difficult. And now here's the big attack. 2-2 is done. Not for SHIN, though, who's going for the big full surround on the back line. The siege tank target fire is amazing. The banelings are cut down, but there's still so many of them. The Hydra's helping out so much. But is it enough? ByuN closing in. A lot of the Marines are badly bruised, and that's a lot of Hydras. The Hydras survive. And that is the most important part. What? We all missed it. 13 SCVs died to a counterattack. And that is a huge deal. SHIN getting that counterattack done, well, effectively tying the fight, means he maintains the economic lead. Looks like banelings just crashed through. We look back and the base is just gutted and mules are dropping. Yes, the stimulus package from the orbitals and the stimulus package from the Marines in two very different ways, keeping ByuN going. But just now adding an infestation pit. SHIN is trying to catch up in upgrades, but it's a long process. ByuN still has more army supply and a more dangerous army supply with those upgrades. But the Hydras are doing a lot to equalize the value on the field. And SHIN has re-expanded, now looking at 5 bases to 3 with nearly double the workers. So far, though, ByuN has done a near perfect job of dispatching the banelings. The only real struggle was the very first fight. ByuN even army supply, and 3-3 is about to complete. So another eon of strife here for SHIN. At a very critical time, right as he wants to go up to Hive, the infestation pit could be targeted down before the Hive starts. SHIN, start the Hive, thank you. But he actually has to deal with this drop as well. The Hydra Den itself could be targeted. SHIN, start the Lurker Den. He's gonna pick up, he's gonna get out. Another counterattack, though, directly into the third. The mineral line under fire, and there's so many Marines outside the fort. He's trying to hold. The siege tanks on the back line. More SCVs dead. Reinforcements scattered. And another small counterattack will gut ByuN's economy. But the main attack is the real threat here. The siege tank shelling onto the creep. Most of the units remain off of it. A few banelings crash in, but the hatchery is under fire. SHIN absorbing the damage for now. The full surround, here we go. Lings and banes from every side. The siege tanks now being targeted. A big group of Marines just melted by the banelings. The Hydras crashing through. The siege tanks annihilated. The Marines in full retreat. One, go tell your friends what happened here. One survives. Many of the medevacs bruise. Some of the SCVs so traumatized they refuse to work for a short time. The Hive will finally complete, and will SHIN remember adrenal glands for the first time in 2024? Well, he doesn't have the gas for it now, so that's a real struggle. In fact, how many gas guzzers does he even have? Only 4 of them. Scattered throughout multiple bases. There's another medevac in the corner that a strong gust of wind would knock out of the sky. But SHIN keeps holding on to enough economy, and these surgical counterattacks. Surgical in the way that throwing a crowbar at your opponent while they're looking the other way can be. Percussive surgery. Counterattack, not getting it done. +3 carapace on the way. The SCVs, ByuN with a ByuNker push. Late game bunker, I love it, and I hate it all at the same time. I'm capable of multitasking, unlike ByuN so far in this game, who's really struggling with the counters, but we'll deal with it here. The triple bunker siege tank push. He's just going to try to harden this position. And SHIN is still a long way off of any upgrades. Thing is, though, ByuN is sitting on borrowed time in a mule-based economy. That hatchery is getting dangerously low. He may just let it go. And he does. Shin, another counterattack. The Liberator will eventually pincushion all this. Still no adrenal glands for Shin, which I'm gonna keep pointing it out because it raises my blood pressure every time, and I can't really afford that. I'm an American, okay? Can't have those health issues. No medevacs for me. Meanwhile, ByuN. Hydras and Lings on the other side. Shin is just trying to consolidate, well, force ByuN to split his forces. As Shin has more units, but worse upgrades. So the likelihood of ByuN being caught in a terrible position is much higher than Shin, who has a lot to fall back to. Wow, the micro has been near perfect here. The Banelings, though, get a little bit too close. And now ByuN, with his triple bunker push. Still not enough, though, as the Hydras just stutter step their way up. And now ByuN, 19 SCVs. He's bleeding out. He needs to win with one of these pushes. And he keeps trying to get the damage done. Where are the SCVs? ByuN is effectively not mining anymore. His income is under 1,000 minerals per minute compared to nearly 3K for Shin, who has a 2K mineral and 700 Vespene gas income advantage. But still, somehow, ByuN with these heavily upgraded units against the unadrenal gland lings, the glandless lings. Ugh. He takes out the Baneling nest. Is there another Hydra den? Wait, Shin is only on lings now, and the army supplies are dangerously close to even. The Vipers, though, are a huge deal. He's able to pull back with some of the siege tanks. The SCVs tanking a bit of the damage. The tanks, reduced to just tanking themselves, will pick up into the medevacs. How are there Marines in here? The Queen's trying to drive them out. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. ByuN down to the SCV count he started with, and like half of them are idle right now. ByuN, death by 1,000 Zergling cuts. Yeah. Oh, revenge! The medevac yanked in and knocked down. And ByuN keeps slamming in. But eventually, there's just too much Shin to deal with. GG. Shin takes game 1. Shin struggling to ever win a fight, but eventually winning the war. As ByuN reverting to, like, peak ByuN timings, which are almost just playing a micro map. All right, if you gave both, but ByuN would be happy to just be playing a MOBA. All right, where he controls 3 of the characters, sure, but game 1, eventually, through great effort, goes to Shin. God, just get punched in the face over and over and over again. But evolve and adapt. Reapers again. And why not? I think the move of taking that 4th base so quick was a real defining characteristic there. Taking that 4th base and getting the extra larva, not just the economy, but the larva, in order to put that many Lings and Banes on the field, made all the difference. And gave Shin the extra production to do the counterattacks that ended up making the difference. Without those counterattacks, ByuN eventually grinds him down. Like, if ByuN had 20 more SCVs at any point, it's not even a question. Like, the fights were so close. The scouting spawning on the edge. And now just taking down that mineral wall. Well, Reaper comes in. This map, it's going to be a lot harder to pull off some sort of double expand. Oh my. A ByuN on side. God. infuriating. The most annoying Reapers in the game. As back and forth they go. Already back at home, adding on a tech lab. So it's going to be 4 Reapers in total. That's what the dartboard that he threw at beforehand said. That's how many Reapers he's going to build this game. Trying to get out with the grenades. He does so. Carves a path. Explodes a path. And now 4 of them. Whoop. Actually able to damage that. Prevented the 4th Reaper from healing there. Engineering bay's on the way. ByuN's like, how about... Okay, now here's an idea. So last game, I went Reapers into Marines on 2 base. But this game, now listen closely. I'm going to do Reapers into... Listening? Marines. Tell me more. And then more Marine. Wow. What a maverick. So, Stimmin +1 on the way. 3rd barracks. Factory. Notably, most notably, no 3rd command center. As SHIN already has his 3rd hatchery. And is going for a roach warren this time. So, a different angle for dealing with these Terran shenanigans. We'll see how it pans out for him. I must continually remind myself that SHIN did win the first game, despite it feeling like ByuN constantly winning fights. That at the end of the day, it's the economy, stupid. Where having more stuff, oftentimes, with only very few exceptions, counters less. And SHIN just whittling down ByuN's economy while holding the line, to an extent back at home, was by far the most important part. No matter how much fancy micro, how many Lings and Banes died, as long as you can replace them. That's what matters.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
10 roaches on the way. Roach speed. So, I think you gotta wait for medevacs. The roaches are quite effective against unmedevac Marines. Oh, well... He heard me. It's like, no, wait for medevacs. Using the Ravager cocoons here. Guns them down. And the grenades. My god. I think this is a better fight overall, though, for SHIN. Whittling down the Marine count is much more important than whittling down the Roach count. Making sure they don't have enough Marines to be threatening with the 2 medevac timing is a quite a priority. And SHIN now is just building more and more roaches. Which, now I'm not as confident in this move here, as he's fighting directly into a 2-base Terran. Oh my. Well, fighting is maybe a bit of a strong word for what just happened there. That was a massacre. And ByuN will pick up everyone but the dregs, and the fact he has enough units left over that they don't all fit in the medevac is a bad sign for SHIN. Despite the supply gap here, Roaches, well known for being kind of a supply inflating unit, despite their relatively minimal effectiveness individually. Just one after another targeting him down, and then when he sees the numbers, backs off. SHIN doesn't have upgrades. Does he even have an Evo chamber? No. Well, now building 2. +1/+1 will be done for ByuN. And that, for him at least, will be fun. But SHIN likely will be having none. Because he's facing against the very strong man with very strong gun. Zergling speed on the way. Infestation pit is SHIN angles for the later game. ByuN does have a 3rd command center. as well as an armory. So we'll have access to those 2-2 upgrades and potentially mech weapons if he decides to go that route. Infantry armor completed. And now +2 weapons on the way, and armor, and mech weapon. Anyways, all the goodies for ByuN. The downside of the Roach Ravager as well is a less ability to counterattack, like we saw in the previous game. And ByuN exploiting that. Just a tough map in general for Zerg, but the Roach Ravager not nearly as mobile. ByuN winning trades on both sides. Forced to pick up eventually, but just running the Roach Ravager around. Wow. Wow. Oh, gunned down another one. 100 gas gone. The Spore Crawler, though, will kill the medevac, unfortunately. Targeting down 5, 6, 7 drones. And now ByuN has the worker lead. Alright. Not getting any easier for the Korean Zerg. Overseer goes down. And wow! Wow. That, I get it, but wow. It's not over, clearly, but that is such a frustrating moment. It's time to go back to the spawning pool and maybe rethink the options there. But ByuN gets the jump on SHIN this time around, and he just didn't want to deal with that any further. Like, there's no light at the end of the tunnel for him. It's just more tunnel. And it's not tunneling claws either, as he didn't have that on the way. It's going to be ByuN with better upgrades, better economy, and more of the same. It's just going to get harder and harder. And yes, there was an opportunity for SHIN to maybe turn it around somewhere, but that's probably more reliant on ByuN making a big mistake as opposed to SHIN having some sort of crazy play. So I understand it. I don't approve of tapping out there. All right? But I get it. All right. All right, game 3, Dynasty. We're all tied up 1-1. SHIN with a pool first play. What am I looking at? That's an Overlord. Yerp. Look at its tentacles. And its punching arms. Fun fact, that Overlord, it's more like, it's like a flying crab balloon. Porcupine. You're beautiful just the way you are. Metaphorically. And other quotes your mother said when you were a child. And ByuN with a new build. This time around, he's going to go for a barracks and then another barracks. And it looks like after that, he's going to make Marines. Only one Reaper. After the command center first, I believe. No, never mind. We're just a little too busy enjoying the delights of the Overlord. The drones transferring to the gold are caught by the who's trapped here? Like, well, this is like putting on your, this is like wearing, where are you even going? Oh, he rallied to the wrong side of the base. Oh my. SHIN right now, it's like he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And you got like a cramp in your arm. And then you get up and you get ready to go to work. You put your socks on, you put them in your shoes, and your shoes are wet. All right, because ByuN's dog peed in them before you left the team house that morning. And that's how Shin's day is going, all right? Like, that's... ByuN actually does have a very cute dog, which is what I think my brain was going to, unfortunately. For that context, but I think he's posted about it before. At least he did. I hope he still does. That was some years ago, but... Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, this is an absolute emotional and physical disaster for Shin. This is the most obvious, like, Ravager all-in timing. ByuN is so ready for it right now. And he's going to have double medevac with stim against 5-6 Ravagers? Or 5-6 Roaches and a few Ravagers? The Roaches are denying Monty at the goal, so that's something. Unfortunately, well, he's just going to drop out the Marines. He doesn't even care here. Forces him to use the Corrosive Bile. At some point, I think you just drop out and stim down the ramp, eh? Shin only has 25 workers behind this. He actually missed the Corrosive Biles on the bunker. I don't even think ByuN wants that bunker. It's just getting in the way now. We'll kill it. When does he pull the trigger? Stim is ready. I'm surprised ByuN's waiting so long right now. Like, what is he waiting on? He stims down the ramp. The Ravager's creating a choke point. The SCV taking some of the damage. And now Shin has a lot of Zerglings. So I feel like ByuN maybe maybe he waited too long. 38 to 25 workers. I'm trying to make this interesting. This should be ByuN's in the bag right now, and he's stimming down the ramp, hunting down the Ravagers. And the Zerglings are gone. The Ravagers are gone. Shin is gone. GG, 2-1 ByuN. And we're moving on. Well, yep. I was wondering when we get there. ByuN eventually steps down the ramp and wins the game. That was just horrible. That was just all no good. From start to finish, that was not Shin's game to win. Even like rallying the drones. If you don't rally the drones to the outside, they will take the shortest path to the minerals. And the shortest path, unfortunately, rallied from the main, is to the inside of the minerals, obviously. So even that going wrong was very indicative of how terrible that game was going for Shin. Honestly, based on the game before, I thought he might tap out when he saw that. That kind of move is very much the, oh my god, Alt F4 sort of situation. But a couple tough games in a row, and now we're on post-youth, which, despite the short rush distance, is a bit better for Zerg. Assuming we survive to 3 base, which is kind of a strong assumption at this stage. Oh shit. All right, ByuN. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if I feel confident guessing what his build's going to be, but I'm gonna take a crack at it. Battlecruiser rush. And then Marines. Honestly, if there were ever a time and a place to do a battlecruiser rush, I think it's here. This isn't a very... So, this map, the reason it's so good for Zerg as time goes on is there's almost no choke points. You get a lot of open field to work with. Even this third base area has a lot of space. But once you get out on the map, coming back all the way to your main through the single ramp, the mineral wall area, is a real pain. I don't think ByuN is actually going to... Oh my god. Sir. No. The Zerglings managed to trap it. And still around. So for once, the Reaper won't be getting mind-shattering damage. queens. Susan, do we ever actually catch the Reaper? It's not about catching the Reaper. It's about the chase. All right, man the harpoons! We will get our revenge! What? Brenda? Reapers. He went for 2 of them. I guess he was just feeling it this time. Off a single Rax. The creep begins. He's going to build on the low ground, which is some intense hubris here. Shin does spot the command center on the low ground, but Zergling speed quite delayed because Shin went for a quick 3 hatch with no gas. There's a lair. Oh, this is a Nidus. Right? Yeah. Rushes out of... Brenda! The Reapers, not the rocks! Second gas on the way. Yep. So ByuN with about as greedy and egotistical third base. He's so calm, he just drops on the low ground. 3 more gases on the way. Is he actually gonna go Mutas? It's possible. Now we got Banshee Cloak. Zergling counterattack. So, the Queens and the Zerglings on top of the Hellions. Oh, catches him out. And now the Zerglings just headed towards the main. A bit optimistic there. Will be redirected. I don't think he's going to be able to save these SCVs. I don't know if Shin even spotted them. And now ByuN has lost all the benefit of expanding on the low ground. Most of the benefit is you don't have to spend any time floating your command center over. And you can be mining from that base while building an orbital. But instead, he just lets the Zerglings in, thinking he can deal with them, but instead gets punished for his hubris. Again, more SCVs dead. The orbital will be delayed, and 3rd time's the charm. But a Spire is on the way, and Shin has built up quite a drone count behind. How many Mutas? Are these GG Mutas? Not quite. As ByuN, of course, will have plenty of Rex. He's going to have Stim on the way. Double NG Bay. So, while there will still be an upgrade advantage for ByuN, it won't be nearly as dramatic as the one... well, assuming Shin actually gets his Evo Chambers. But it likely won't be as dramatic as what he's enjoyed in the previous games. The Banshees are on the way across, but the Zergling counterattack is headed in. There's only 3 Marines out there right now. He just gets on top of all this. That stop position SCV doing a lot of work when it comes to making life difficult. A scan will spot the Spire. Turret's on the way, but will be delayed. And ByuN continually getting punished for taking this base so early. And the Mutas will intercept the Banshees and knock them out of the sky. And Shin finally gets some much-needed reprieve from ByuN's constant pressure, his constant harass, his constant in-your-face Terran units. And now it's Shin's turn to turn it around. And actually, there's really not enough units in general here. He may be able to just fight the Marines. And he gets into the main. Yes, there's a missile turret, but the Zerglings are in the base. And there's just no units left. Shin is on top of the barracks. He's breaking down the depot, allowing the rest of the Lings to make it in. A single siege tank, but the Mutas are healing as well. There's multiple turrets at the 3rd. ByuN has almost no army supply. Another wave of Zerglings is on the way. Does Shin even have a Baneling nest? He does. No Bane speed, no other upgrades besides Flyer attack on the way. He has Zergling speed, and now Flyer, and that's it. And there's no one to protect the SCVs from the Zerglings. More Marines trying to come down the ramp, get a Changeling. That's all they'll enjoy. And now the orbital command is vulnerable to the Mutas. ByuN looks like he wants to try to save it. He's about to have +1 done, but that's so many Zerglings. Might just be able to take out the siege tank, gunning down a lot of the well, the Zerglings tried very hard to get a full surround there, and I think a bit of anti-micro, but the orbital will be forced back into the main. ByuN never able to, like, if he had just built it in the main. But these greedy Terrans thinking they could get away with building on location. Your buildings can fly, all right? Why not enjoy it? Well, now he's forced to retreat with it. But SHIN, I think, has carved out quite an advantage. It isn't a game-winning one quite yet, but that could change with just one mediocre fight from ByuN. It's not even gonna take, like, a decisive timing. It's just ByuN now is limited. He has double depots here. He's going to be hard supply blocked. 83 over 53. Not exactly sure how SHIN also ended up supply blocked here. Well, he's going to lose another Overlord as well, which is awkward, but ByuN has to go. He has the upgrades. He has combat shield. He has a few medevacs. It's not going to get any better. This is it. This is his army. He can't even rebuild units. He has depots and turrets in production. Here comes ByuN. The third base will fall. Gonna target down the Banelings, the vast majority of them. There are 9 more in production. Baneling speed is not done. Oh my, he may be able to... No, 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 SHIN. More mutas on the way. Another wave of Banelings, the upgrades themselves. But this is his one timing, his one shot, his one opportunity. And ByuN right now is looking very likely to capture it. The Banelings are closing in. This base may die. The Baneling nest. Bane speed is not done. If he takes out the Baneling nest beforehand, and he's targeting it, oh my, it's going to be close. 8, 7, it's denied. But are there enough Banelings left over? The mutas are helping out. The splits are good, but I don't think they're good enough. The last Marines are chased down, and ByuN is forced to tap out as the mutas would run the table with everything else. SHIN is able to drag it back, though it looked remarkably dicey for a few moments there. We're all tied up. Been a topsy-turvy series. But we'll have to see where it lands. These two. Just, it feels like they're playing almost around each other. And, you know, so far, evenly matched in that at least. We're going Alcyone for the final match. And ByuN, 2 Rax Reaper, because of course it is. ByuN not respecting the mutas. The greed of putting the command center on the low ground. It gave SHIN a target to work towards. I think, but in no way did it benefit him to put it on the low ground more than it would have been safer on the high ground. You get maybe 2 more SCVs of production at the cost of both giving away that information early and making yourself vulnerable. So if ByuN hadn't just lost his Hellions to Zerglings, maybe it looks a lot different, but I marked that one up to intense greed, and SHIN taking full advantage of it. Make no mistake, SHIN is one of the best Zerg players out there. I think he's ranked 5th in Zergs overall right now. But he also, like many, you know, non-Serral, Dark, and to an extent Rainers, gets tilted very easily. And that becomes pretty apparent, as you've seen in a couple games so far. I think ByuN is less someone who gets tilted after literally like 10,000 professional games, and more sometimes he's a bit high on his own supply. He's like, oh yeah, totally, I can just build all my command centers on location while perfectly microing Reapers. Well, most of the time you can, but occasionally The Reapers are here. The Queen strongly disagrees with their presence. Not that that is going to matter to the Reapers. The Queen. Almost. Oh my god. It's a Bane bust. He's busting. More Zerglings on the... SHIN only has 20 workers. He's gonna try a creep tumor. ByuN took offense to that. I wonder if ByuN's getting suspicious at all yet. He has no bunkers back at home, and the add-ons are on the wrong side to protect the tech here. Yeah, the Reapers are making it back home, but without any bunkers, things get very dangerous very fast with this many Banelings. Well, he doesn't have any Banelings yet, but that's about to change. 6 Banes on the way. ByuN. SHIN he's trying to hide the Zergling, so he's sending out just the one to check the watchtower before sending in the rest of the Lings. Stim will not be done. There is no wall on the high ground. The Reapers are here. It is 5 Marines and 4 Reapers against dozens of Banelings and Zerglings, and here we go. The Reapers are managed to retreat in time. Will he be able to target down the Banes? Oh no, the SCVs take a massive hit. The Zerglings get in, and ByuN with no bunker, no wall, and now no units with which to defend. He's gonna bust through again, and there's no one left to hold the door. ByuN, in his greed and predictability, will be countered by SHIN, and this time around, he will fall for it. GG. Quite a roller coaster of a series, but honestly a bit satisfying to see that you can't get away with the same build again and again and again without eventually getting punished for it. ByuN not even deeming it necessary to build a bunker or wall off the high ground. I think a deserved, a bit of a reality check there as SHIN puts him in his place for it. So, quite a dynamic series, but I think a pretty fun one as well. And I hope you agree. And if you do, it'd be awesome if you could smash that like button and maybe even subscribe. And if you got the means of motivation, it'd be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But liking and subscribing is still free, at least for now. So thank you for watching. Make sure to check out the second channel, Winter Gaming TV, if for some reason you enjoy other games. But otherwise, I hope I made your day just a little bit better. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.